Now look, they asked me to say something uplifting and motivational.
What goes to the very highest truth and goodness and beauty? We name that God, right?
But let me share with you the most inspiring thing that anyone's ever told me. You're going to die.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Konstantin Kinsin gave a speech at the R conference that Bishop Barron spoke at as well. This speech has over 1.5 million views, but it wasn't half the speech that Bishop Barron gave. Let's just say they have two radically different views on what will save society. He kind of rouses the crowd with crude sarcasm and promotes an atheistic humanism that is mildly conservative and religious friendly. If you want to watch the whole speech, the video is in the description below. It's how he ends the speech that has my head turning. It's so motivational. Listen to this.
Now look, they asked me to say something uplifting and motivational. I'm Russian, Ukrainian, British, and a little bit Jewish. Those are not four groups of people that are known for their optimism and joie de vivre. But let me share with you the most inspiring thing that anyone's ever told me. You're going to die. Yeah, we're all going to die, huh? No, you are going to die. And when you do, there will be a gathering of people that loved you. They're going to say some words, meaningful, important words. They're going to put your body on the ground, and then they're going to go and eat some food. And after that, they're going to go home and squabble over your inheritance. That's it. We're going to die. We have nothing to lose. So we might as well speak the truth. We might as well reach for the stars. We might as well fight like our lives depend on it, because they do. Thank you very much.
Wow, what an uplifter. Notice his logic though. You're going to die. Therefore, you should tell the truth, shoot for the stars, and live as if your life depends on it, because it does. Ooh, sophistry. He assumes that in the face of death, people desire to be courageous, seek the truth, and fulfill some sort of purpose. But is that necessarily true? If the greatest maxim in the world is, you're going to die, why not end it now? Why not just live for yourself, find joy in the moment? These are other answers that nihilism has provided to its adherents, which means that his answer isn't the only one. Let's be honest, the vast number of people that hold this belief system don't agree with him. They prefer selfishness to objective truth living. Furthermore, the speaker assumes that life is greater than death. It makes me ponder though, why? If death is inevitable and there's nothing binding afterwards like a just and holy God and an afterlife, why be virtuous? Why seek truth that's not there? Why chase ghosts? It also seems that death would be supreme because it ultimately wins out in the end. Isn't life just survival of the fittest? And death is fit and undefeated. Or is there a better answer? I believe there is a better answer. Here is Bishop Barron to explain, and I'll connect everything in the conclusion.
Meaning is to be in a purposive relationship to a value. And then you added to live a religiously meaningful life is to be in purposive relationship to the sunum bonum, or the supreme value. Say more about that. What do you mean by that definition of meaning?
I was trying to make it as simple as possible. And I was using Dietrich von Hildebrand there, whom I rely on a lot in these matters, that these basic values appear, and they shouldn't be analyzed to dust. What I mean is they appear. They're there in the world. That's to say, aesthetic values, beautiful things. When you hear Beethoven's Seventh Symphony, you say, yeah, that's beautiful. Moral values appear. So the act of Maximilian Kolbe at the end of his life, surrendering himself to save this other man. Yeah, that's just good. That's morally good. Intellectual values appear. You read Plato's Symposium and you say, yeah, that's true. He's speaking a great truth there. Well, these things appear, and a good education, our friend C.S. Lewis, I think, would agree with this, is teaching people how to recognize those values. So they are intrigued by the right things, that their wills and their passions are engaged by the right things. So I'm saying here that a meaningful life is in a purposive relationship to a value. You not only appreciate the value, but now you're ordering your life toward it. You're saying, my life is about appreciating, that value, and maybe even trying to imitate that value, so that I can try to do something at least akin to what Plato did, something akin to what Maximilian Kolbe did, something akin to Beethoven. Even though I don't have the gifts of all these people, I'm in a purposive relationship to the value that I've discerned. I think that's what makes your life meaningful. And then the next step, well, what's the supreme value? So I just named a handful of values, right? All sorts of moral values at different levels of importance. We say to a little kid like, no, don't take that, glass of water away from your sister. Well, you're inculcating, you're awakening them to a moral value. Then there's Maximilian Kolbe, that, a moral value at the highest possible level. Same with aesthetic values. Teach a little kid like, yeah, look at, you can draw a bird by doing this, and oh yeah, that's beautiful. And then there's Michelangelo. So to be in a purposive relationship to the highest value, the summum bonum, the supreme good, that's now to be in a religiously meaningful life. Much of the purpose of education and formation is to move people into this realm of objective value, but not just into it, but to move into it in a hierarchically ordered way, where you lead people to higher and higher expressions of value. And then finally, we talked about Jacob's ladder last time. What goes to the very highest truth and goodness and beauty? We name that God, right? And a religiously meaningful life is one that is purposefully related to that good.
So how does this all connect? Bishop Barron is saying two things. First, that all humanity to live a meaningful life must attach themselves to a value and strive for that value to provide meaning and purpose to their life. For example, you see there are refugees in your hometown. You see they need housing. There isn't any housing. You offer your home or find a housing solution for them. The value was to love humanity by providing a felt need. This provided purpose because you were fulfilling a need that was bigger than yourself. Okay, now ask yourself, does this speaker in the first clip fulfill this perspective? No. He's not talking about value in the sense of bettering the world for others. He's talking about accepting one's fate, stoicism. The purpose of life is not to attach to value, but to deal with the fact that there are none. So find value in the virtue that you are courageous enough to see there are no values in ultimate virtue. But it's even more, because Barron talks about an even greater meaning and purpose of life, which is the religious summum bonum, or a bene maior. This is to align oneself to God, who is the supreme good. Barron makes the argument that this climbing of Jacob's ladder is the entire point. It is the supreme value that we must be seeking after. We are meant to be formed by objective and aesthetic values, moral values as well, as it pushes us into the religious value that orders our life to God and ultimately leads to what? Eternal life with Him. So that is where the rubber meets the crossroad in these two clips. Either the most inspirational thing you can hear is, one day you will die, like this guy, so live for the now, or one day, if you seek God, who is the summum bonum, you will live. There is a day that death dies, everyone. Either you live for now and die, or you die to the now to live. As a wise God man once said, whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life, or me, will find it. Remember that Christianity is Christ, and without Him there is no Christianity. See you in the next one. Peace.